Welcome to this session to introduce Learn360 and also serve as a review for those that have used Learn360. And this is Judy Tucker. I am a consultant at NWOET, and we provide professional development for teachers in Northwest Ohio and also provide subscriptions to Learn360 from schools here in Ohio. Let's get started. I'm going to be using a presentation with screenshots from the Learn360 website. So let's get started. And we will launch the Learn360 presentation that I have. To get Learn360 from any internet capable device, Chromebooks, tablets, go to learn360.infobase.com. And don't forget that period between the Learn360 and Infobase. This is a landing page that you will see when you go to learn360.infobase.com, and we'll be exploring all of the different features available to pre-K to 12th grade districts who have a Learn360 subscription. These are just a few of the educational producers and providers for the Learn360 resources. There are over 550 at this point, and many of them you may have heard of: Sesame Street, A&E, the History Channel, National Geographic, Reading Rainbow, Highlights, to name a few. Some people believe that Learn360 is just a great collection of videos, and it is, but we're going to be going through all of the other multimedia assets that are part of the Learn360 product. But we'll start with videos. When you go to any of the resources landing page, you'll see the featured products. In this case, the featured videos. And here we have featured career development, featured engineering and technology, featured English language arts, and there's not just 4 of these for each of these featured areas. If you look, and you can see there for the English language arts, there are 22 featured, and these change from time to time. Featured health and guidance, featured history, featured mathematics videos, featured science, featured social studies videos, visual and performing arts, featured world languages, professional development and teaching practices. That's not the only way to get to your best fit for videos. You can browse subject areas, and you can browse by producers. Let's take a look at browsing the subjects, and you can see that there's a listing of how many they categorize as, say, the visual and performing arts, 3,114 on the day I took this screenshot. Engineering and technology, 3,732. You also can browse by producers, and these are listed by alphabetical listing here by A through Z. And if you just want to put in a search term at the top of the landing page for the videos, you can do that. You can also go in and do an advanced search or search by the standards. This is what the advanced search page looks like. So if you are looking for, this will take you to any of the different resource areas. But let's say you go into the math area and you bring up geometry resources, there are 232 results, but you can filter down any search results to copyright dates, a specific producer, and even specific languages. And there are more than just French, Spanish, and English for the languages. These products come in many different languages. I didn't count up exactly how many, but this is an example of a result page for mathematics. And you will see the run times for each video in the bottom right corner of the image. You will see a link to the standards correlations for each video. You will see a link to sharing, and this is the neat part, that if a teacher has Google Classroom, almost every resource in the Learn360 collection, no matter which area it's in, there is a link that allows a teacher to throw it right into Google Classroom, the class of their choice, and add it to a question or a assignment. Let's go back here. And also, there are many other learning management systems besides Google Classroom. So if that is the case, a teacher's using, say, Schoology, they can click on the, keeps going, popping back, they can click on the URL to copy it here and then put it into an assignment in Schoology, for example. If a teacher is creating a web page with assignments for students or resources, they can copy the embed code and put that in. And if they wish, they also have the option to share by email. So they can send it to their students' email address that way. And a feature that has recently been added to Learn360 videos, and that is the quiz feature. And that will allow a teacher to create a customized quiz for that particular video. And then it would go to the student when they are assigned to watch this. They can take the video. Now they do need to have their own profile rather than just a district login for the teachers to do that. So it stays with that particular video for that teacher, and for the students, she might assign that video in, say, Google Classroom. Also, another feature that I wanted to point out is that most of the videos have the closed captioning feature that can be turned on, and they also have transcripts that can be downloaded and printed if necessary or if desired. Okay, the next section, besides videos available, are games and activities from your Learn360 subscription. These are the featured ones that come up when you click on the games and activities. And you can see that there are many different subject areas for many different grade levels, pretty much through pre-K to grade 8 for the games and activities. These come from a provider called Mr. Nussbaum's Games and Activities, which is a free website, but you do not get the full collection from Mr. Nussbaum without a paid subscription or having it included with your Learn360 subscription. And here I have the breakdown by grades for the math activities, the reading activities, and the learning games is by different subject areas. Now, these activities are very interactive. For instance, the reading ones bring up a reading passage, and this one is for grades, tagged for grades 3 to 8. And you can see here the producers, Mr. Nussbaum's Learning Games and Reading Comprehension Activities. And then they have 10 questions that are aligned to this particular reading passage. Here's an example of a learning game for social studies, and it is interactive, and it is for grades 3 to 5 as well. Here's a drag and drop, which will give students practice with that skill that is required by the online tests that students in Ohio now take. And it's called drag and drop math. And notice that all of these activities have that option to drop it immediately into Google Classroom. And again, there's other ways that they can share it the same way that I explained earlier, by emailing it or by clicking the link to copy the link to go for any other learning management systems. On to Printables in the list of featured products in Learn360. This is an example of the featured products in the Printables section, and there is a breakdown by science diagrams, fact sheets, and math activities. And I took little screenshots of what these choices look like, and the math one you can see is broken down into algebra, calculus, and geometry. For this part, there were other areas of mathematics that activities that I did not get the screenshot here, but you can see that here are some of the activities that are PDFs that a teacher would print out or share with the student for the student to do. They don't necessarily have to be printed, but they're not interactive online. They would be things that the student would do on their own as activities. Here's an example of science diagrams. And you see one of telescopes and one of the human digestive system. And these can all be downloaded, shared the same three more ways. And you also get the citations if needed. And here are some examples of fact sheets: nature versus nurture, born shy, chronology for North Africa. And here's an example of a printables for the area of circles, where the students would spend 30 to 45 minutes cutting out different activities. They have templates that the student would use. And on to audio. This section is very interesting. Click on the audio and you can get examples of audio books, learning songs, music tracks, sound effects, audio speeches, and many within each of those categories. An example of an audiobook is Martin's Big Word book. Audiobook is Martin's Big Words. And you can see that it could be closed captioned if you desired, and also that link to Google Classroom, so you could share it with any class right directly into Google Classroom with just a couple clicks. Another one, Triple Your Money. And notice that when you click on the transcript, up comes the transcript, and you can also download that transcript to have a printed copy if you wished. And here is some music from the audio resources Blue Ridge Ramble. And going on, here's an interesting one. Sports crowd chant, cheerleaders, let's go team, let's go, with a clap single. This might be used as background for some kind of presentation the student was doing. They could download it and put it into their presentation. So many of these audios could be used to create sound effects in some presentations a student might wish to have some audio content. This is an example of audio speech. Harry Truman's Give 'em Hell, Harry's U.S. policy in Asia. Again, you can play the video, and you also can look at the transcript as well ahead of time. Next section is maps and flags. So when you click on that, here's your landing page for maps and flags, and you can see at the top the featured one this particular day was featured Canadian maps and flags, countries, maps and flags. And so I clicked on the Ontario, and you can see there are 10 different maps and flags images that you can click into. This is another flag that you could get, and historical maps. And notice that all of these also have that option to, when you download and any of the resources, you'll get the option to just download to the location of your choice, the desktop, the document folder, or you, keeps popping back, you can, I'm not sure why, you can download it to your Google Drive. And this is really helpful to use when students are using a Chromebook and they don't have a lot of storage area on a Chromebook, most Chromebooks, so they could save it right to their Google Drive. Example of thematic maps: percentage of illiteracy, life expectancy in Africa. And here is the flags and maps for the Ohio when I did a search for that. And on to a very unique resource called the Mailbox. There is a website called the Mailbox, created by two teachers who felt there weren't enough resources out there for educators for grades pre-K to 5 to be helpful to teachers. So many years ago, they created this website, and you can go there. It's a free website, but there are not a lot of the resources, the whole collection. You would need the premium subscription, but the Learn360 has purchased rights to the entire collection. So the teachers, as part of the multimedia assets of Learn360, get the resources from the Mailbox. So this is the landing page of the Mailbox. Really neat activities and games that are not interactive like the Mr. Nussbaums and the games and activities, but they are very helpful to teachers. Here's a parts of speech games that a teacher would set up with the resources within this resource. Task cards. So most of them are printables that a teacher could also share on Google Classroom with the students. For instance, this one on science, on solar power. Summer Reading is Killing Me. That title was very interesting. I grabbed that. And then here's one on the flow of government from the social studies area. And I thought these would be especially helpful. It says early childhood and elementary, but I think even though I taught middle school and high school, this would be something I would check out. Interesting forms that you can put down activities, passwords, whatever you would need to give to a substitute, have ready. And also for summertime, June writing prompts, July writing prompts. And last of all, one of the biggest strengths, in my opinion, on the Learn360 subscription, especially if you teach in the area of the STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, is those STEM lessons. And this again is a landing page, and there are math lessons, biology lessons, chemistry and physics lessons sections of this. And when we click on the math lessons, in fact, all the lessons in all the different subject areas under STEM have these multi-page activities, which in my opinion would have been super great for those teachers that had to plan remote lessons, online lessons for students to use, because each one of these lessons looks very similar. They have multi-pages. Down at the bottom, you click and go through. The first page, of course, gives you the contents of the lesson. They're very thorough, in my opinion, as far as the type of activities they have the students progress through. One of these has 11 pages. The other one on writing and solving simple equations has 10. And here are the ones on biology. There are videos, there are short reading passages, but they all look fun to complete. These are the ones on chemistry, factors affecting reaction rate. There are 9 different pages, and I have the first page here, and then the student would read what it's going to be about, and then they would click over and they would see an activity. Like I said, there's short reading passages, and then they have students do activities within that. And the next one is on the physics lessons, and they are categorized by the main skill or learning concept. And again, the teacher could put this right into Google Classroom. That just gives you a taste of what is all included in a Learn360 subscription. If your district or school doesn't already have Learn360, for pricing, just email us at NWOET@NWOET.org, and we will send you information on that pricing. But we also can send you a link to use a trial subscription. I'm not sure right now whether it's 1 week, 2 weeks, 10 days, but you would get a trial so you could try it out, and also show some of your administrators, or if you are an administrator, you could share that with your teachers and see what they think. It's very interesting because most of the schools that here in Northwest Ohio that have a Learn360 subscription have been renewing it for quite a few years. And it is at a discounted rate compared to if you just go in as an individual school to InfoBase and subscribe to Learn360. And Learn360 is just one of their products of InfoBase. And we can also provide a link to trials for any of their other products. In fact, this coming school year, the 2021-2022 school year, Info Ohio, which is Ohio's pre-K to 12th grade digital library, they have purchased the subscriptions for 3 other products that InfoBase uses. So Learn360 is a separate subscription. And if you're using it and you have any issues, at the bottom of every page is a help button, and you can click on that and get most questions answered. And if there's still any questions you don't have, either email us at nwoet@nwoet.org, or you could email me, Judy Tucker, at tucker@nwoet.org. Thank you for taking the time to review or learn more about Learn360 and all it contains. It's just the more things they add, the more value it allows teachers to have with their product and their resources. Thank you very much.